All right. Good evening, everybody. We'll call our regular public council meeting for Monday, October 5th, 2020 to order. To start here, just want to let people know that if you have any questions that you want to ask, you send them to dchaplin@torbay.ca. If they're in before we adopt the agenda, we can address them in the first half of the meeting. If not, we'll add them to our second Q&A session. And to that point, new business, Councillor Pollard.
Pass, Your Worship.
Yes. Councillor Storngas.
Pass.
Councillor Martin.
It's just well wishes.
Okay. Deputy Mayor on the phone.
Thank you and condolences.
Okay. I got a couple of congrats myself. Councillor Roach is absent and Councillor Glant is absent. Motion to adopt the agenda as amended. There's no people for the Q&A already done. Okay, thank you.
So moved.
Mover.
Second.
Seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Carried. Deputy Mayor?
Aye.
Okay, I'll have to check with you on the votes just to make sure. Where are we to? Just for everybody's information purposes, tonight we have CAO Don Chaplin, Infrastructure and Public Works Director Brian Winter, Community Service Director Tina Ockley-Bryan, and our Deputy Clerk. And Pico is here in the background where you can't see, just in case people are wondering, because they do. Moving on. Public Council minutes for September 21st, 2020. Any kind of motion to adopt them, please?
So moved.
Second.
Mover and a seconder. Any errors or omissions? No. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Deputy Mayor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Aye.
Thank you very much. No proclamations, presentations, or questions. Mayor's report. All right, Mayor's report. Ever since the last meeting, I've been sick as a dog. No, but I have. But I'm feeling a lot much better now. And no, I didn't have the COVID. I just had a cold. And I think that from looking around here tonight and from the people I've been talking to throughout the town, this is the time of the year when the colds and flus are rampant, especially with the kids going back to school and everything else. But you would think, with all the extra hand washing and mask wearing and stuff that we're doing, that you'd be a little more lucky not to get sick. But unfortunately, that's the way it is. So, in my mayor's report, I'm just going to highlight a few things that's on the go. So, the East Coast Trail fundraiser is currently on the go. We do have a team from Torbay, our TETC Coyotes. So if anybody would like to sponsor them and members, they can go on to the East Coast Trail website, I guess, and look that up and find them and give them some support. They do a lot of good work in town with the East Coast Trail. We do have 2 sections of trail in our town and a few other ones in the general area, so it's worth supporting. The town has a call out now for economic strategic roadmap survey that's ongoing from until October 13th. Takes about 10 minutes to do that, so if you get a chance, go on the town website, fill that out, give us some information. It's always important that we get as much information for the public as possible. Our virtual market is scheduled from October 28th to November 13th. We're still looking for vendors and businesses and everybody to participate in that. It's going to be a new opportunity where we're not doing the market at Jackburn this year. We're at the community center, so it's something new, and it's going to be a great opportunity for people who've been sitting home since March, making their crafts and knitting and whatever else they do in their home businesses, and it'd be a great time for us to be able to support them. So I just wanted to highlight that's ongoing. This Thursday, October 8th, 2 o'clock to 3 o'clock, there's a merchandise bingo at Torbay Common. That's still going ahead? Yeah? Good, okay. Just let everybody know that's there. It's free, right? Perfect. Trunk or treat is coming up. We're going to have some, what? Not? It is? We're hoping. So we have a call out right now for local businesses who would like to participate and offer up their stuff. I will again this year, of my own treats and my costume. Was it Mayor Incredible or something like I had last year? So it'll probably be the same thing again. But it's a great bit of fun, and if any members of council would like to participate, no trouble, get your car, get your money, and go out and pick up your stuff, and go up, sit down, and hand it out to the kids. It's a grand laugh. So that is also on the town website, or contact staff.
We're looking for businesses at this time.
Right.
So as soon as we get the businesses in place, then we'll advertise.
Yeah, I heard you. So yes, we're looking for businesses right now, and then once we get that on place, we'll advertise, yes. Thank you. I was curious to how we were going to do that this year. Trunk or treat.
We've got a plan in place.
I knew you would.
We have an email gone out to all of the businesses, 90 businesses, so we're hoping for 30 at least.
Okay, excellent.
And once we get that, then we can advertise in the fall.
All right, perfect. Thank you. One other thing that I got on my list is this week, people noticed the start of the installation of our solar panels going on the roof of the town hall. That's a project that we've undertaken, and it was that with FCM, Federation of Canadian Municipalities, and it's a great initiative, and this is the start of something good. But over the next week or so, you're going to see those panels getting installed, and I think on Friday we're going to be doing some media and stuff around that. So other than that, that's it. I don't think I got anything else to add. It was, the same as always, right? Everything comes up during the weeks, and we try and deal with it as we're going. So with that, I will. The food bank had their official, I guess, AGM on Wednesday, at Upper Tree Corner, and they elected a new board of directors. So I think they have 11 new members to the board. I know there's representation from Torbay, Puig Cove, Outer Cove, Lucky Bay, Middle Cove, Outer Cove, and Portrait Cove, St. Phillips. I'm not sure about Flat Rock. There probably is, but I know they have 11 members, and hopefully they're going to get a lot of good stuff done there. So that's a great help that they needed there, and I'm sure they'll be reaching out to the general communities in the next little while, looking for people to help volunteer and look for donations and stuff like that. So everybody keep your eye out for that. And with that, is it any questions on any of that? Perfect. Thank you. Correspondence. We got one here from the City of St. John's. Proposal Energy Efficiency Financing Program Opportunity through FCM. And that would go to Public Works down? Yeah, okay. So this is, I guess give some background there. St. John's, I guess, they voted unanimously to be a municipal lead to Net Zero NL's program design application, energy efficiency, financing, FCM initiative. So City of St. John's Council allocated $5,000 cash and in kind staff contribution to study for the support of the study. And the, I guess, what are they looking for us? To be participants? Okay. So we'll direct that over to Public Works, and they can have a look at it and see how we fit. There's another one there, expression of interest from the City of St. John's, expression of interest for community efficiency financing. The same thing, is it, Don?
Yes.
Okay, all right. Perfect. We got 2 emails here from residents with regards to 2-wheel trail bikes and, I guess, motorized bikes in general on one of our sections of the East Coast Trail, so Father Troy Trail. And I know the town doesn't, we don't manage those trails, but we do participate, and then we do contribute, and we're partners with the East Coast Trail. So I guess we need, I know staff went and looked, and we do have a signage up. We might look at putting some more, but we may have to do some public awareness around that, probably talk to East Coast Trail about it, and let people know that you're not supposed to be doing operating motorized vehicles on the trails. They are walking trails. All right. So there's 2 of those there for your information. And, oh, East Coast Trail fundraiser. So there's a bunch of correspondence there about that. I gave a quick synopsis on it, I guess, earlier. And I don't think I need to go too much more into it. These are all different emails that were received with regards to how this trail fundraiser works and how you can go on and register and donate. So all of that stuff is up on the town website. If anybody has any questions, also you can check the East Coast Trail website. We have a circular here from, well, 2 from Department of Transportation and Infrastructure. One here is about the cutoff dates for paving. And it looks like we might come up close against that this year, not. And one about regional contracts. So we'll just send them to the appropriate committees and they'll have a look. All right. Committees of council. Committee of whole, nothing.
Excuse me, Your Worship.
Yeah, sorry.
I may, before we get into committee of the whole, can I ask council a rule on conflict of interest for me for the second motion under planning and land use development relating to a recommendation to a shared or a bordered residential subdivision?
Yeah, okay. Did you want to just wait till it comes up?
Okay.
All right. So I was looking at that, how we had changed, remember we changed our agenda a little bit to discuss conflict of interest stuff at the beginning? Then I went back and looked at the act that says that you're supposed to address it at the time of when it comes forward, so it just keeps it fresher in your mind, right? And then you don't have to forget. But anyway, we'll deal with that. So we're at planning land use development now. There you go. Councilor Martin, take it away.
Ready?
Mayor, to Councillor Pollard's point though, the
Yep.
motion report that Councillor Martin is about to bring forth contains that information, so
Okay. All right, so we deal with it now then?
that's what I would recommend.
Yeah, okay. Maybe, okay, Julia's not here, so for the next meeting, can we pass around that little sheet of paper we used to have with the names on it, like Brian used to do one time before the meeting, so we'll know what's there? All right, so,
Just for expediency,
Right.
it may be better that I just step out on it anyway, if no one minds.
well, what is it? Oh, it's just the one that deals between the project between the town of Torbay and the town of Portugal St. Phillips?
Yes.
So you're in a potential conflict because of your job at Portugal St. Phillips? Yeah, I don't think that's unreasonable.
Do you need a motion put forward?
Yeah,
I'll make the motion.
go ahead.
I'll move that the council allows Councillor Pollard to step away from that motion, to remove himself from the vote because of potential conflict. So moved.
Second.
Over seconder. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? Carried. Thank you. So that's the second one, is it, Tony?
It is, yes,
All
Your
right,
Worship.
okay. Carry on.
Pardon me. Thank you. I have a motions report for the from the Planning Land Use Development Committee meeting on September 29th. It's prepared on October 2nd for tonight's meeting, and the first one is for 8 Bournes Close, application C2020-126, which is to add driveway access, construct 9.1 by 12.2 meters, 30 by 40 garage in Flanking Street side yard. It's a area land use zone. Background: the town of Torbay is in receipt of an application proposing to construct a 9.1 meter by 12.2 meter, 30 by 40 accessory building in the flanking street side yard at 8 Bournes Close, and to add the second driveway access off Clare's Place. Committee minutes and a detailed background report associated with this application form part of this motion are attached for reference. Recommendation. Committee supports the department's recommendation and is tabling the following motion. Motion whereas motion to approve application C 2020-126 as proposed to issue a building permit subject to standard building conditions in the town of Torbay. So moved.
Second.
Seconder, any questions? No? All in favor?
Aye.
The next one is
Hang
the
on.
external
Oh.
referrals.
Second. Deputy Mayor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Next one is the
Well, carried. Carry on. And Council Pollard can just jump out the back there. All right.
Thank you. This one is the external referrals, Town of Portugal Cove St. Phillips, proposed amendments of agricultural lands for on-service subdivision. Background, the Town of Torbay is in receipt of a referral relating to a proposed amendment within the municipal boundaries of the Town of Portugal Cove St. Phillips. The amendment is to accommodate an on-service residential subdivision, which requires the rezoning of agricultural lands to residential use. A municipal plan, as well as a development regulation amendment, is required within Portugal Cove St. Phillips jurisdiction to be able to accommodate the proposal. For Council's information, the subject property is located both within Torbay and Portugal Cove St. Phillips municipal boundaries. However, the Torbay portion is already designated and zoned residential large lot. The Town of Torbay is in receipt of an application for a 6-lot residential subdivision within Torbay municipal boundaries that is still under review by staff, external authorities, and the consultant. Committee minutes, a detailed background report associated with this referral, as well as the actual referral email and location map as provided by the Town of Torbay, the Town of Portugal Cove St. Phillips from part of this motion are attached for reference. Recommendation on this is the committee discussed the referral, concurs with the department's recommendation of providing a letter of response to the Town of Portugal Cove St. Phillips, and to add reference to the establishment of a joint development maintenance agreement between both municipalities if the amendment is approved. Excuse me. Therefore, the committee is tabling the following motion, and the motion as presented. Motion to provide a letter of response to the Town of Portugal Cove St. Phillips in response to their referral dated September 25th, 2020, advising the following. While the Town of Torbay cannot comment on the designation of agricultural lands to residential use, the Town of Torbay wishes to advise that a portion of the subject property located in Torbay is already zoned residential large lot in Torbay, and as Town of Portugal Cove St. Phillips is aware, the Town of Torbay is in receipt of an active application for a 6-lot residential subdivision, which in the future is planned to be connected via road access to Indian Mill Line within Portugal Cove St. Phillips jurisdiction. Torbay Town Council is requesting that a development scheme be prepared for the whole subject property, which addresses joint access, groundwater assessment, open space, and stormwater management. As existing Torbay residents may be affected, it is suggested that this may include joint public notification. Town of Torbay requires storm detention to achieve zero net runoff for a 100-year, 24-hour storm event using up-to-date rainfall data for St. John's metro region. In addition, should the rezoning be approved, the Town of Torbay requests to enter into a joint development maintenance agreement specifying future responsibilities by both municipalities. So moved.
Second.
Over to seconder. Any questions?
Your Worship, can I jump in there?
Sure.
I just want some clarification. When we say that we're going to establish a joint development maintenance agreement between both municipalities, is this going to be decided and provided to both councils before the approval of the subdivision.
The-
I'm just curious to understand that a bit more.
This is not an approval for subdivision, this is just an approval to rezone the land. So at the time when a subdivision, whatever comes forward, that would be more of a operational agreement between the towns about where one plows or where the other does, I think. The bigger thing is the stormwater retention and how all that fits together between the two towns at the time. I know that we both,
Right.
us and Portugal Cove St. Phillips both have the zero net runoff policy, so everything should work out correctly that way.
Right, but I'm just curious, before there's any approvals on any of this, I'd like to know that the joint development and maintenance agreement would be established. And I would expect then that the joint development, part of that agreement would specify the zero net runoff and the requirements that would be expected by the town would be laid out specifically in that agreement. So it's clear, because that area, I know we've had a lot of work that we've done and a lot of costs around storm water management issues in that area with development in the past. And just want to make sure that we're not compounding that situation and that we're getting ahead of it. So that's where I'm interested to understand when and how these development agreements and mutual, working agreements are going to be created. At what point do they come into play, and how does that work from a development and then a maintenance perspective thereafter? Because there will be costs associated with the ongoing maintenance. So I'm just curious to see, when does that come in to the play here?
Yeah, I guess the motion actually says it. So before any actual development will get approved, we want to have a sit down and discussion with our planning department and their planning department to make sure everything meets our requirements and theirs together. Right?
The town council, Torbay Town Council is requesting that a development scheme be prepared for the whole subject property, which addresses joint access, groundwater, open space, and stormwater management.
Right.
Okay, so that's what we're saying. We're saying that we want to prepare in advance
Yep.
to make sure that it meets those standards.
Yeah, so our developer that's looking to do their part would have to get together, I guess, with the developer who's looking to do the part in Portugal St. Phillips and look at how they're going to integrate their both developments.
So can we ensure that both of those pieces are done together at the same time? You don't want one moving ahead and the other one. I just want to make sure that we're not compounding the water issues in that area.
Just if the person in Portugal Cove St. Phillips decides to develop their property and the person in the town of Torbay decides not to develop their property, at that point we wouldn't have any need for any kind of a joint thing. So we can't force somebody to do their development. So at the time, I guess if we had that one, we're already in receipt of an application, that person wants to do it. So then at that point, yes, we would make sure that we're making sure that all of our concerns are being addressed before any permits are issued.
That's
Right.
the intent of the motion.
That's the intent of the motion.
And I'm sure that the director, once she meets with her colleague in
Yeah.
Portugal Cove St. Phillips, will bring back updates to the planning and land use committee and then back to council.
Yeah, okay. Trina, the only reason I'm kind of elaborating on that is because Julia's not here.
Okay,
gonna
and the
say-
part of it,
Just for the benefit of the minutes and the public, the CAO just mentioned that the purpose of the motion is exactly that, and Director Shorts will meet with her counterpart at Portugal Cove St. Phillips before we proceed on to another phase in any projected development.
okay, and the last question I have is around the maintenance agreement. So again, we're saying that we're requesting that this is done ahead of time, but when we're talking about maintenance agreement, what kind of costing are we talking about? Do we have any discussion around what cost share looks like, how that's going to roll out?
Maintenance agreement would be typically would be just about snow clearing and maintaining the roads, which we would snow clear the roads in the town of Torbay and they would do the ones in the town of Portugal St. Phillips.
That wouldn't be determined until the development scheme is done
great.
and what's required for, where the open space is located, where stormwater management is. I mean, so all that again would have to come back to council via Planning Land Use Committee.
All right, did you hear that, Trina?
I did, and that's the other part of the question I had was if we've got maintenance and we've got retention ponds and cleaning those out and those sorts of things to make sure that that stormwater management infrastructure that's put in place is working in the way that it's supposed to on an ongoing basis. I just want to make sure that all those things are considered and those costs are considered in that discussion. And I feel that, you know, if there's if it's the same road kind of thing, we need to make sure that the costs are proportionate, you know, to the residents and how that's put together. But that's fine. I just want to make sure I understood clearly that we were being proactive in getting ahead of those issues and making sure we don't have any further problems there. That's all.
All right, thank you.
Call the question.
Thank you.
Yep, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Deputy Mayor?
Aye.
Okay, opposed? Carried. Council Pollard? Hang on, I'll go again. Yeah. All right. All right. Carry on, Council Martin.
Thank you. The next one is permit listings. Background, permit listings for the period of September 21st to October 2nd, 2020 are attached to form part of this motion, report, recommendation. Committee hereby tables the following motion. Motion as presented to accept permit listings for the period of September 21st to October 2nd, 2020 as presented. So moved.
Second.
Moved, seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Deputy Mayor? Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Opposed? Carried.
Thank you. There is some additional information attached.
Yep.
And I'm just scrolling down. Next are approvals in principle, and CEO, do we need a motion for these? Approvals in principle?
You just did that. That's what the permit listings is, isn't it?
So there's no,
Page 61. The building and development permits issued on page 62 of 123 of the department.
so that was the permits listing, right? The
Yeah.
approval in principles. That's
Ending
the
this-
permit listing that council just adopted,
Okay, thank you.
All right.
And just a brief overview, there are some items I wanted to note. Sorry, in the minutes from our September 29th meeting, we have some items highlighted in yellow, which form part of the Proclamations report. A couple of things I wanted to note on the motions that were just passed. The one for 8 Bourne's Close accessory building in the flanking street side yard. Committee did concur with the department's recommendation and has no objection to the construction of the proposed garage as its secondary access off Clare's Place. Also, we had talked about the Wilderberry Lane proposal, some long-term planning regarding our Great Pond water study, update by Wood. That's there, about watersheds and bathymetric profiles, inflow, outflow. Climate change action plan and installation of solar panels, further to your commentary earlier, Mayor Scott. It's a T2050 funding through FCM, and for the public's interest, it was all grant money that covered it. Proposed target dates are listed there, which are some projection of solar panel installation. I seen on the news before I came here that Pauline had also adopted a similar module, and they're already in process of starting their solar panel installation, so good to them for their efforts. We also wanted to, I just also want to note that the Protective Services reports, report 15 and 16 are attached, and we have some further explanation there on the motion for the Town of Portugal Cove St. Phillips, and so ends my report. I did, Mayor Scott, I did attend the SAM AGM virtually on Saturday. It isn't on our liaison committee, so I'll just take a quick moment. Myself and Director Shorts attended SAM. It was all via Zoom, so it was different that way, but you know, coronavirus, of course, has held everyone up across the island. But I know Balleen, Councillor Palmer was on from Balleen. He had talked also about their solar panel initiatives, and people are from all over the island talking about, you know, different impacts and projections on projects with wetlands and trails. And I talked about potential trails that we're working on in our town. So it was a good exchange of information and collective collaboration. So, and Director Shorts, I believe this was her first one under her position here, and everyone welcomed her, and she gave a brief background about herself and her roles and initiatives here. So it was good that we were all able to connect that way, and hopefully the next one things will be a bit more back to a better level of normality, and we can meet in person again. So that was also completed over the weekend, and that ends my report. Thanks.
That's good, thank you. And those SAM meetings are wealth of information.
Oh, they are, yeah. Well, also we had, there were some new faces there as well from bird watching organizations and different members like that, and different levels of government and stuff as well. So it was all new stuff.
Do we have anybody from the Environment Committee?
I don't believe so. I don't believe so.
All right. I know that they were looking at potentially doing this meeting in person. I guess they didn't get enough.
No, the general consensus was everyone felt more comfortable doing virtually opposed to traveling to Derry because of the coronavirus. So.
That's good. All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
Under the Protective Services activities, there's a comment there, both submissions that say, continue to investigate illegal businesses being run from unzoned properties, construction heavy equipment. We will photograph any evidence we might find. Just asking committee to explain a little bit around that. I know in the past I have had concerns that I've brought forth to council about construction heavy equipment operation happening that was not approved for the town. So I'm just curious to see if this has been an ongoing issue again, something else that's come up. I want some more information and clarification around those points if we could. If we could just touch on those, please.
It's something that's currently under investigation. So without disclosing, too much information, there are a number of businesses, within the town that are operating without the proper permits and licensing. So commissioners and planning staff are working on that. And we've also discussed several times at committee, what we would consider a business that we would we require permits and things like that for. If someone's home making crafts or selling something out of a catalogue or have a holdings company at home, it's not something we want to be chasing down. But if there are businesses, Deputy Mayor, like you say, with heavy equipment operating other homes or another startup business, we have to make sure they have proper permits and licensing to meet our regulations. So we do have a list compiled of various locations and are working on bringing those up to speed and enforcing any violations.
Councillor Martin, do we have any documentation that we can refer to that actually identifies which of those businesses that we as a town do not allowed to operate in our town without the proper permit. Do we actually have that documentation in place that specifies construction or heavy equipment or any other criteria that we would point someone to say, hey, you can't do that? And do we have that anywhere available for the public so residents can know this is not permitted? I know where we've had this in the past, it's come up, and I think it's important to, it's coming up again. Maybe we need to make sure that we have some direct messaging that's available to the public through our website or other channels to be very clear with residents so people know what is permissible and what is not.
We do have our regulations online, our standard regulations to operate a business within the town of Torbay. I don't believe we have, and Director Schwartz isn't here, so pardon my ignorance, but we don't have, to my knowledge, a list of, here's what you require a permit for, versus we don't with regards to, independent sellers of beauty products or catalog products or crafts versus, operating a brick and mortar business or a heavy equipment business. For the most part, anything outside of direct sellers and holding companies falls under our operating rules and regulations. So it is something we are talking about at a committee level with respect to developing some more information and publicizing.
That'd be great. That was what I was going to ask. If committee could go back, have a look at that, and maybe provide some clear communication back to council for parameters around that.
Yes.
And then we could maybe ask our communication staff to share that through our channels as well. That'd be great.
CEO got something that you want to say?
So to Deputy Mayor's queries, we do have messaging that we have posted in the past that all businesses within the town require permits. Regarding the 2 instances referenced in the protective services, once we become aware of someone operating without a permit, there is a site visit conducted and a letter written to ask them to cease, and if they're interested in operating a proper business within the town, that the proper application procedure is outlined. What can operate in different parts of the town depends also on the zoning, so not everywhere within the municipality is zoned exactly the same. But I will say that the 2 instances in particular, I know one of them is definitely resolved and they have proper permits in place, and the other one is, if it's not resolved, it's pretty close to being addressed.
All right, thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, CAO.
All right, thank you. Admin and Finance, Councillor Pollard.
Thank you, Your Worship. I'll start off with the motions. Harvey and Company for loader unit 0504 repair in the amount of $7,511.24. Stuart McKelvey for the quarry legal charges in the amount of $9,758.90. Triware for IT support hours in the amount of $5,750. Progressive Engineering and Consulting for a progress payment for the Shays Lane Country Drive culvert, $32,562.25. Centaur Products for the basketball height adjusters for the community center in the amount of $12,914.85. And Track Consulting for the first billing for the Torbay Economic Roadmap in the amount of $9,594.31 for a total of $78,091.55. So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Questions? Councillor Dorngath?
Is it possible to get a total on what the Stuart McKelvey with the quarry development with regards to legal cost?
Yes, we'll do that for you.
Thank you.
Great. Anybody else? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Carried.
Next motion is relates to the sale of the 2004 loader, and this was advertised on a number of occasions, and it seems the only person, or at least the best person best bid we got was from the town of Pooch Cove. So there's a motion here that the town of Torbay accept the town of Pooch Cove's bid of $40,000 to purchase the 2004 JCB 436 ZX loader with standard bucket, power angle blade with some side wing attachments, plus an additional $5,000 for winter tires. So moved.
Second.
Seconder, questions, comments? All in favor?
Aye.
All right.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
The next round of motions is, or the next motion itself is, comes from Infrastructure and Public Works, and it relates to the upgrade of the roads. So that the town of Torbay accept the Progressive Engineering and Consulting, Inc.'s recommendation to award tender 2020-021 Torbay 2020 road upgrading and paving to Mercer's Paving Incorporated in the amount of $587,149.81, including HST. Following roads are being upgraded: Burns Lane, Peters Place, Paul's Place, Riverview Place, Robbins Pond Hill Road, Tantum View Lane, Martin's Lane, and Ned's Place. The original budget for these roads was $629,530.24. The complete cost, including engineering fees and HST, will be $652,970.82. However, the final cash expenditure after HST rebates is $592,136.65. The project is funded through the federal gas tax agreement. So moved.
Second.
Mover and a seconder, comments, questions? Guess the tenders never came back, like people are getting them across the province, 30 and 20 and 30% less. They came back
Well, this
pretty
is-
much around where we were.
This is $40,000 on our budget, 37,000 something as noted there as well, which I didn't read that part out, but it's still under, but
Okay.
it's hard to know what the,
It's hard to know. You don't know until you put it out there and see what comes back. Anyway, good job. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Carried.
other than that, your worship, there's not a whole lot more. The main focus now is the 2021 budget and all the work that's associated with that, and trying to get ready for the third quarter report and the public consultations. If there's anything else anyone has any questions on, feel free. After that, so ends my
Counselor-
report, your worship.
Councillor Pollard, can I jump in there?
You sure can.
We do have a note here about the CAO's position on the TRIO board. And she asked the question about being in a position of conflict where she's holding a seat there through her position with PMA. Are we required to have a vote of council to discuss if CAO is in conflict and to figure out how do we deal with that? I know she's asked committee, but I just want clarification. Does council have to make a motion to where she as a staff person is sitting on that board as well?
I wouldn't think that that specific rule of conflict would apply to CAO in this particular instance. She doesn't have a say, she doesn't vote, she doesn't, have that she has, while she has influence, she certainly doesn't have the final vote on it, so she can't implicate herself in that way.
I think the conflict is outlined in the Act. It relates to voting. So if somebody is not in a position where they can vote on something, so that would include a councillor, even if you were on a committee, you can't discuss it because you're not allowed to influence something that you could potentially be voting on. So in terms of CAO, I mean, that's her job to give advice to council, so council ultimately will make the decision. So I don't see any conflict there. The only conflict I would see, if we weren't able to take advice from our staff, we'd be kind of flying blind.
No, and I agree with you, Mayor. I just wanted to raise the point that CAO had asked the question to ensure transparency and accountability. Just where it did come up in the meeting, and I want to make sure that if there was any question to be asked, that we had asked it now, so that there wasn't any potential for conflict or declaration of conflict in the future. So I just want to make sure that we had it covered off and addressed. That's all. I don't want guidance on making sure that CAO is covered in that role as well.
Yeah, good. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
So ends my report, your worship.
All right. Awesome job. Perfect. Economic Development and Tourism. Deputy Mayor. Did you want Councillor Martin to do that while he's sitting here? Or do you want to do it?
If you can hear me, I can do it.
We can hear you fine.
Depends
Carry
on
on.
Okay. All right. Well, we met on October the 1st from 6:30 to 7:30 via Zoom. The items that we discussed were the economic development roadmap, the demographics regional project, Torbay Business Awards, the Shop Torbay virtual market. Under tourism, we discussed the regional wayfinding work that's ongoing. Culture and heritage, we talked about the History House governing model, and we have a committee of the whole meeting set for Wednesday to discuss that on October the 7th. There were no business arising additional items there. And we talked about adding a section for the business resource page around COVID, where to get supplies and access to resources for businesses that may be looking for that information, and allowing businesses that are here to share if they provide, services to other local businesses. So happy to discuss any of the items that are in here. If anyone has any questions.
Ready? No questions?
Councillor Martin, do you have any comments?
No, all well, thanks.
Okay, then that ends my report, Mayor.
All right, thank you. All right, infrastructure and public works. Councillor Thorngas.
We never met because there was really nothing new.
Right.
So the only thing is just the director provided when I came in is the the lights on the ball field, the above ground lighting systems have arrived and installation should be finished by the end of the month. And the outfall overflow pipe repair project is 90% complete. And the director of the department is sourcing armor stone to cover the work already completed. And the big one, too bad Councillor Gallant is not here, but the trail development, the trail is now roughed in from Western Island Pond down to Woolbridge Park. Have anybody got any questions? The rest of it is straightforward, the same as basically it was 2 weeks ago.
I did. Where are we? The sidewalk project consultant agreement is being drafted with execution to occur soon. So what does that mean?
So what happens there is the consultant drafts the consultant agreement, submits it to municipal affairs, they review it and provide it back to us for execution. So that's basically where it's due.
Okay, because I've been getting some questions, right, about sidewalks, so I'm gonna just take a second and probably kind of outline a little bit, and you can tell me if I'm right or wrong or whatever.
Certainly.
Anyway, we got approval for this back last March. And ever since then, we've been following along with the government procurement process for RFPs and tenders. So the first thing we had to do was go out to RFP for a project owner's advisor or engineer, right?
Consultant.
As part of the process. So we did that.
That's where,
And
that's
then
it.
we awarded that a few weeks ago.
Yes.
So now this process is continuing on.
Yep.
They're doing their agreement.
Yep.
That has to be also submitted to the government and then comes back. And once that is executed, then they can do the tender, to put out the tender to do the sidewalk work.
Yeah, well, they finished the design work that needs to be done. Some of it's already done, but obviously they're going to modify and they may need some more information because I think the area from the previous tender may have changed, scope work may have changed a little bit.
Yeah.
So they'll do that and then it'll go to tender. So what they're looking at is, it'll be spring of next year before you'll see sidewalks on the side of the road for sure.
I just think, because I know we get a lot of questions about that, and I don't know if people, and, even sometimes I don't know if council fully appreciates how much work goes into that, like how much turnaround it is between us and the provincial government, and this project has federal money into it too, right? So
Yeah.
that's another component of it. But it's not that we don't want to do this thing as fast as we can, but we are doing it as fast as we can. And we
Yeah, everything is moving as fast as it can. Everything takes time, as most people know.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, a prime example of that is the flow meter project, right? Like that was a long time ago that we approved that, and that has been going through the
Yeah,
process.
it's got to go through its process. And I mean, again, another prime example of that is the license to walk by for the
Right.
trail.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
Things
All
take
right,
time.
Thank you. I just wanted to make people
Yeah.
aware that when you're dealing with these projects, and there's 2 and 3 levels of government involved, and there's a specific process that you have to follow that's outlined through the government that gives us, this is what the steps that you have to do in order to get your money and to get your project. That's what we've been doing.
Yep, that's correct.
Mayor,
Yeah. Deputy
with
Mayor.
the sidewalk piece, just a reminder to residents, we did have this discussion and asked it a couple of meetings ago. You know, my understanding, and CAO can correct me, but my understanding of that last meeting was once we awarded that contract for the engineering work to be done by the prime consultant, that we've started to dispense that money, and the understanding is that that is committed and will be there for execution in the spring when things roll out, no matter what happens with the government situation, if there is a change.
Oh, yeah, I don't
So
know.
I just want to reiterate and confirm that for the public as well, so that they know that, you know, we had that discussion and that was the understanding that I had at that time.
Yep, that's right. Once the,
Yeah.
once the project was awarded and the prime consultant was given the go-ahead, that was basically, the project was initiated then.
Right, it's part of the process to work towards having things ready for the spring. And that we are on target, as we understand now, for a spring execution of the sidewalk project still, correct?
That
Yeah.
is correct. If residents want to review the last council package, there was the update on the sidewalk project had specific timelines included there as well too. And I know there was some concern about the provincial government proceeding with paving along Torbay Road before the sidewalks were installed. So it was verbally confirmed by the department that they have not commenced the tender process for that work. And obviously through the circular under the agenda, under correspondence tonight, it clearly sees the timeline, so that work won't be proceeding. So I have been in touch with the Deputy Minister. We're just trying to connect again, so to reconfirm timelines on their end, so our project works seamlessly with theirs.
All right, perfect, thank you.
Thank you, CAO. Just one more thing around that circular that came out and the paving timeline.
Right,
I just want to make sure that the work for the contractors that we have doing paving in the municipality, we have assurance that that work will be done before those deadlines, correct?
they have to, that's the deadline, or else they, right? Or,
Yeah, but what do we
Hang
have
on,
in
I'm just
place?
waiting.
'Cause I understand.
So the motion was passed by council tonight, so after this meeting is over, we'll follow up with the engineers to have everything expeditiously moved along and provide a copy of the circular. I'm sure the director can confirm, but I wouldn't, from my perspective, I wouldn't anticipate any issues with meeting those timelines.
okay,
No, I wasn't, thank you, I wasn't referencing the motion tonight, though. I was referencing another ask that I had a couple weeks ago about a paving contract in Forest Landing. And I just wanted to make sure that all the paving contracts that we have across the town, just ensure that they're all
Yes.
complete within the timeline of that circular.
I'll follow
Well,
up with the
that one.
Director of Planning regarding that, because that relates to a specific subdivision development. So I'll
Thank
follow
you.
up with the Director in the morning.
okay.
Thank you, Don, I appreciate that.
All right, thank you. That's it. Now, number 2. Recreation Community Services, Councilor Martin.
Thank you. We didn't meet last week. We only had some updates, which is regards to our programming and event update. Is some information put in there regarding programs with our coronavirus protocols. Some upcoming October programs: Turkey Trot, Drive a Movie, kids art class and so on. And staff are planning events for November and December for programs to meet coronavirus protocol. And the gate at the Torbay Common for health and safety. Staff have worked with the commissioners to have a commissioner in the car on site at the Common, and we'll monitor this over the coming weeks. This is following our last motion and some additional matters that happened there recently, security concerns. So other than that, so ends the report.
Thank you. Any questions on any of that? Okay. Liaison committees. That the Mayor's Congress doing the report on that last week. Intergovernmental affairs. Nothing really there. I did, well, obviously the budget just came out. There's no big surprises there for municipalities. Looks like they held a line on municipal operating grants and I think project funding might have went down a little bit due to Tony for capital works projects. Capital works projects might have went down a little bit in the budget. They might have allocated less. I'm not sure. You didn't hear me? In the budget that just came out, they pretty much held a line on project or funding for municipalities.
Yes, they didn't change much, no.
Jackburn Arena. Any update?
Thank you, Your Worship. The meeting that we had planned, the last one didn't happen. We weren't able to make quorum. We do have a meeting scheduled for this Thursday, so hopefully that one will go ahead. The biggest update I think to give residents right now is just to let them know that we've been working with the Northeast Minor Eagles Hockey Association to help them with making sure that they're able to move forward with their registration, which opened this weekend, and get things worked out there. So I'd like to extend a thank you to members of the board and to Kathy and Lauren. I know they have been working with myself and Tim to get that sorted. And I'd also like to do a shout out to our MHA, Mr. Kevin Parsons, who's also been involved and has been a part of getting that to move forward as well. So we'll have an update after our meeting on Thursday evening.
All right. Thank you.
Welcome.
Northeast Avalon Joint Council.
We have our next meeting on the 14th of October.
Okay. RNC, I don't have nothing to update. I did notice that they got an extra couple of $1 million in the budget the other day allocated. I'm hoping that's going to be for the traffic patrol. I think I'll send the email tomorrow to Chief and ask him. See, I think that would be good news for us. But anyway, I won't comment too much on it. I'll wait and see. Torbay Volunteer Fire Department, Councillor Martin.
Thank you. I do have a motion. Just let me go back to the first page first. So there has been, their AGM took place last week, and a new executive has been elected. Firstly, though, I have a motion regarding the fire chief appointment. The fire chief was acclaimed in his position, and we do require a motion of council to appoint the chief. At the September 28, 2020 meeting of the Torbay Volunteer Fire Department, elections were held for executive member positions, platoon captains and lieutenants. A motion of council is required regarding the appointment of Fire Chief Mike McGrath for a 2-year period. Please see below the proposed motions for council's consideration. Councillor Martin, myself as council's liaison to the Torbay Volunteer Fire Department will bring forth a motion and provide an overview of the election process at the October 2020 public meeting. The motion as presented is as per section 2.4.1e of the Torbay Volunteer Fire Department Constitution and bylaws that the town of Torbay, that the Torbay Town Council approve the election of Mike McGrath as Fire Chief of Torbay Volunteer Fire Department for a 2-year period, effective September 14th, 2020. So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Questions, comments?
I'd like to say that really appreciate everything Chief McGrath has done over his years of service, and I'm happy to see his appointment again and in full support of Mr. McGrath's position.
All right, thank you. Anybody else?
I think I'd like to just echo that sentiment and thank Chief McGrath for all of his years of service and his continued work for the residents of the town with the fire department. So I'm happy to support this motion as well.
You know, Mike is, obviously, he's been with the fire department since day one, and he's been chief now for quite a while. I don't know how many years, Don, do you, offhand? No, good few. He's the longest serving chief that we ever had, so we'll just say that. And my experience dealing with him has been excellent, and I know that, he was acclaimed again, nobody ran against him, so obviously he has the support of the fire department and all the members down there, and he continues to do a good job. And with that, we'll call back to you, buddy, for a call question.
Thank you. Yeah, again, I think the feeling is mutual around the table with Chief McGrath's commitment, and I would like to pledge my support.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
And further to that motion, I do have the new executive here for the fire department. The election meeting was taken on September 28th. It was at the Torbay Common Community Centre. It started at 7:40. There were 31 members in attendance and 8 proxy votes for 39 members voting. So, so the results are new executive moving forward for the next 2 years. Chief McGrath was acclaimed on September 14th and confirmed tonight. Deputy Chief Jerry Dunphy, Training Officer Dale Pittman, Public Relations Officer Shalane Wade. Shalane was the current Public Relations Officer, and she was acclaimed on September 14th. Platoon Captain for Torbay was Francis McGrath, Rodney Goody and Kirk Russell. Platoon Captain for Flat Rock was John Callahan. Platoon Lieutenant for Torbay was Philip Whitten, Ron Francis and Ryan McQuailey. Platoon for Flat Rock was Jim Auchinleck. Incident Safety Officer is Ken Dodd. So these positions will commence in full on October 12th, 2020.
Okay.
And I do have some additional information here concerning the fire department. My screen just froze up on me, so pardon me. Your Worship, can we come back to the...
You got it. Where are we going to talk about the
there were some additional items.
Fire
there in the
Prevention
package.
Week?
I wanted to talk about Fire Prevention Week, and there was one more item there, I believe.
Community fire drill.
Community fire drill?
Yes.
We can help you out. Bob.
Okay,
No
if
problem.
you could be so kind to talk on the community fire drill.
All right, so Wednesday, October 7th at 7:30, there's going to be a community fire drill and how to participate. Discuss your plan as a family, listen for the sirens, escape from your home, review your plan, submit your picture to enter the draw. So this is a contest that they're having for residents of Torbay and Flat Rock. And you can, I guess, this is all on the Torbay website or on our website?
And social media.
And social media.
Torbay,
So you can go on there and-
Fire Department has their own Facebook page.
Perfect. And then the Fire Prevention Week, myself and Councillor Martin yesterday participated in the Fire Prevention Week parade, as I like try to do every year. And this week, from October 4th to October 10th, is Fire Prevention Week. And the fire department has activities on the go every day. Some things are during the day at the schools for the most part, a lot of it. And we usually have our open house here in the fire department And this year, they're going to be doing a drive-through open house
That's right, yeah.
on Saturday, October 10th. So go on, check out all this information on the town website, and if you get any questions, if you don't have a town website, which to me really don't make any sense now I'm saying this out over this, is that you can call the town and get the information. Somebody will help you if you phone in. So if you know somebody that needs to get the information, that's not watching tonight, they can call the town and get it. That it? Anything
Thank
else?
you, thank you.
Oh, you're
That's
welcome.
all for me.
You're welcome. Thank you. UMC committee. We had our meeting a couple of weeks ago. I already reported on that, and I've actually started to plan for the next one. So the next one is actually going to be at the virtual convention for M&L that's coming up. So I would still encourage everybody, all members of council, to sign up. There's also, and this is new information I only learned this week, is that your registration for this particular M&L conference will be eligible for cost shared money from the government. So it's cheaper than normal, and it's going to be even cheaper because now we can submit those forms into the government to get some of the money back for everybody that's registering, which is good. As a training, to consider it a training exercise, is done. Thought that's what it was. So it's a good opportunity to get on there and over a couple of days, it's all virtual, and take in the sessions and some of the ones that you won't be able to see, they're going to be there recorded and you can go back and watch them after. So I would encourage everybody to sign up for the M&L convention, virtual, first ever. Don't be late. Get there. All right. No notice of motion. New business. Ooh, everybody passed today except Councillor Martin. There's my thing I wrote down. Councillor Pollard passed. Councillor Dorngas passed. Councillor Martin, buddy, go ahead.
Thank you. I just wanted to give my well wishes to the two fishermen that were offshore here at the point. Their vessel caught on fire, and they were able to make it off safely. And fortunately, they lost the boat, but they were fine. There was no harm or damage. So, I just want to send my well wishes to them.
All right, good. Deputy Mayor.
Thank you, Worship. I wanted to extend a thank you to Council for your support for the nomination for the FCM Board of Directors. I really appreciate the support that our Council has given me this term of Council with the M&L Board and now with the FCM. And I look forward to the opportunity to represent our town and our region and our province at that table when the opportunity comes. So thank you very much. That means a lot. I also want to thank the Torbay Volunteer Fire Department. You know, I don't often get the opportunity to express my debt of gratitude to them, but the work they do, the response, the service they provide to this community is second to none. And I would proudly say that if they're not the best, they're among the best. But my personal observance is the best on the island. So thank you to Chief McGraw and the executive and all members for your service. You're greatly appreciated. I'd also like to thank the residents that stopped in front of my house last night while I was doing a soccer meeting. And they slowed down. There was a moose directly in front of my home in the middle of the road. So I want to remind residents to exercise caution. And as I'm calling in from home tonight, watching the vehicles race up and down the following line, I'd like to remind residents and ask them to exercise caution on our roads, especially now when it's getting darker in the evenings. It's important to be careful when you're out driving. And I'm going to steal just a quick minute to congratulate the U15 fielding girls. Two young girls from our town, my daughter and her friend Katie Turpin, played with their Metro team this week, and they took the gold in the championship game yesterday. So I'd just like to throw a little bouquet out to them and say congratulations. The last thing I wanted to extend condolences to a dear friend and family of the Thornhill family. They lost their son a couple weeks ago, and Ross and Tracy both do a lot in the community with the Lions Club and with the library. And just wanted to extend condolences and let the family know that they're in our hearts and prayers. So, and the very last thing, I'd like to thank Mayor Del Colburn for coming down and having dinner with me when I was in her neck of the island. It was great for her to see, to come down and have a visit. And that's it for me. Thank you.
You sure now? You don't
I
have
could
that-
add more if you'd like to stick around.
No, that's good. That was
Thank you.
awesome 2 minutes. I would pass along congratulations to you getting that FCM seat. Unfortunately, when I signed the letter, I signed it from October 2020 to November 2020, so it's only going to be short. But,
Thank you, Your Worship. That's a wonderful thing to do.
no, it's in 2021, I'm pretty sure. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I'm sure that you will benefit from that, and they will benefit from having you up there. We will benefit from
Thank
having you
you.
there on our behalf. And with FCM in mind, I would congratulate Garth Frizzell on being moving into his seat as president of FCM this past weekend. We did our voting online. Of course, the way the FCM president, every year you vote on the third vice president. And then each year they move to second vice president, first vice president, then become president. So your term as president of FCM is only a year long, but it's already, the succession plan is in there. And any time when somebody doesn't get reelected to their council, then you have to vote for more than one person. So this weekend we had to vote for third vice president and second vice president, I believe. There was definitely two that we had to vote for. Normally you'd only have to do one. So congratulations to him. I would also pass along congratulations to Rosemary Lister, a Torbay resident who received 2020 Seniors of Distinction Award this past week. So congratulations to her. And we're fortunate that our seniors in our town are very active and very involved in the town. And congratulations to her and on getting that recognition. And thank you for what she does in the town. So I don't think I got anything else. Oh, Craig Connors, happy birthday. He's our birthdays for the month of October. And with that, our next public council meeting. Oh, is there anybody sending questions in now? Wow, excellent. They must get all the information they need from the council package. I'm hoping. Our next public council meeting will be Monday, October 29th, 2020, right here at 6:30 in Torbay Council Chambers, and online live through our website and YouTube channel. With that, I would ask, wait, Joe, what did I say now? 19th. Did I say 29th? Oh, man. All right, the 19th. Maybe you'd better check that date on that letter, Deputy Mayor. With that, I would entertain a motion to adjourn, please.
So moved.
So moved.
Second there.
Second, okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.